Hey, what's up, Master? How you doing? So I'm not gonna wait too much longer before getting started. I have to get this over with quickly. Ooh, B-52. Oh, my connection's not stable. Using a wind ball. Ooh, unfortunate by my opponent. The drawback of using a wind 5 power 0. $8.2 rings. Perfect. I hope Troy stops by. Well, that's an easy win. Yo, Troy, what's happening? So, I'll just ramble on here for a second to see how you find the new captions. Hopefully it's good enough for you. They'll still disappear after a certain amount of time of silence, but it stays up a little longer now, and with the extra line it should be a little easier to keep up. I could make them stay up even longer. You'll just lose the top line every now and then, which is probably okay, I think. So it's a pretty cool feature. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm glad it's useful. It seems to be picking up my voice a lot better today too, for some reason. I didn't change my microphone settings or anything. Oh gosh. Golf Clash and Crashing. Should be called Golf Crash. Oh, look at that wind. A bunch of rings. Like 8 rings. Ooh, great right. Oh no. Was not paying attention. Should have gone way more. I should have gone way more. Yeah, I could do that. Do you think the game screen would be best on the right or the left? I think most people put it on the right, and it's closer to the chat in a browser. Alright, so my opponent messed up also. Is that possible? I don't think it is. Is it possible to reach here? Nope. Just gonna come up here. My opponent shouldn't be able to reach either. Okay, I did not say that at all. I said my opponent should not be able to reach either. Cool. I'll set that up for this weekend. Hope maybe by tomorrow night's opening round. Gonna have an easy chip in, and I have to sink this. Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll miss. This is really glitchy, but we're gonna go for it. Oh, that needle jumped. Ooh, that was close. Even with a grate, it was close. Alright, go back to watching Pete now. I actually have Pete up on one of my monitors right now watching. Damn. Drained it. I should try using the wind arrow. I think I might do that actually right now. I'm gonna rematch. Or try to rematch. Nope, never mind. That was just a poor drive on my account. Yeah, go back to Pete. Heck yeah, Troy. Another like 8.7 ring adjustment. I'll push it forward. Put some curl on it, maybe a slight bit of overpower. Ooh, great right this time. Hopefully that's still safe. It is not safe. Because I lost some distance because of the grate. Man. What is the deal? I'm not getting bailed out by a good wind. Oh, this is terrible. It's a bunch of rings. I don't have a chance of even getting close. Oh, that's pitiful. Yeah, even with a good shot there, I probably wouldn't have been close. Perfect shot. Yeah, that didn't really stand a chance. Oh, that was kind of close. Alright. Playing for real now. Those were just warm-ups. Bit of a headwind. Oh, switch close. 8-4. Looking at perfect when I overpower a driver, but not just a normal driver. Ooh, got right up in there. I also didn't put any elevation on that shot. That's okay though. Rough pump. Oh. Just under mid. Which is, I'm gonna go 3.5. Ah. Silly great shots. Yo, KDB, what's up? Quick is a jinx? Question mark? Whoa, if I say the word question mark? Yo, what's up, Pico de Gallo? No hablo español. I'm watching Pete's stream as I'm streaming, so. Troy has given me some excellent advice for the subtitles, so I will be trying to implement those sometime this weekend, or maybe before tomorrow night's opening round. We shall see. 30%. I'm also trying out the wind arrow notebook. What's equipo? Equipo. Hit great and still comes in pretty nicely. Eight, 6. Basically a straight tailwind. Mid number is gonna be, or between min and mid, I'm gonna go about 6 point something. I put a touch, just a hair over 2 back. And here, we're gonna go 6.7. All right. Oh, keep going, keep going. Should have just put 2 on it. Did it say Bubble Boy Tornado? Oh, I won. Nice. No rematch. Of the 2 pins I've hit, I've gotten chests on, so that's good. Hopefully the audio levels are good. See, I could technically still talk to you guys. Okay, I'll turn the sound back on. I think this is the first time I faced off against a 19th mate. He's got a bunch of games. I keep glancing up and seeing Pete's stream, and I'm like, oh, I gotta take my shot. Ugh. Hopefully he can still reach. Could go for it, but I'm just gonna play it safe over here. Basically max. So this wind, I'm gonna go 8 rings. Probably not enough backspin, honestly. Ooh, great again, man. I need to stop hitting great. Ooh, this is gonna be tough for my friend Dr. Laser Eye. Yep. Yep. Oh, this light pole. Oh no. Oh, my poor opponent. I feel so bad, but at the same time, I knew it was gonna happen. Oh no. I feel bad for laughing, but oh my god. That was fun. And it is forever immortalized on YouTube. Dr. Laser Eye. Unlucky. Ooh, I haven't had this hole in a while. In a few streams. Yeah, I mean, if that would have happened to me, I would have laughed because at that point he was so late into his adjustment, like he would have just been like, oh, well, it's probably gonna happen, so I'm just gonna go for it. But yeah. You can't help but laugh at that kind of stuff because that light pole's so tiny and he just drilled it right in the center. Oh, that was classic. 6-9. Not quite diagonal, full diagonal. I'll just stick with this club. Same about here. We'll go 6.7 rings with this wind. No overpower. This only requires a little bit of curl, I think. I know, they're great. Oh, that was barely over. Oof. Not really paying attention to my landing spots or the wind effect either, so I should probably do that. How's Pete doing? I see he just finished a hole, but going to shootout. It always respells the word hole. No, hole. There. Question mark? Get in! Oh my. Oh no! I thought it was in. That is so unlucky. All right. 6, 7. Min plus 10%. We're not going very far. See if we're gonna find this funnel. 2.9? 3? Wow. Didn't quite play the wind effect enough with the side spin. I've played Anne multiple times before. I recognized that photo. Ooh, do we have a... I don't think we have it. Not one that I'm willing to take anyway. Yo, what up, Robito? Thank you so much. I do hope you're in Pete's stream right now. I'm just got this live. I'm actually watching Pete right now. Got this live to get my pin chest, and then I'm gonna be donezo. Ooh. 11-1 with this wind. I'm gonna go just, I'm gonna go about 8.5. See where we land. Not quite where we were aiming. Oh, that went way short. Put entirely too much backspin on that. Oops. Yeah, I mainly made these for Troy. But it also is useful for people who are at work and have the stream muted or whatever. Anne is gonna kick my ass. And stupid subtitles. I'm actually pissed that she won that, because that was not a good shot by her. But, like we always say, you just have to shoot better than your opponent. I'm pretty sure I've beat this chick multiple times. Yeah, this one comes up with some really fun ones. This hole, well, not the worst wind in the world. So she's gonna put full top and I'm guessing as much left spin as she can get on it. Let's see how much curl she uses. So she aimed up there. She's, oh, I was about to say. I think that might be too much curl. Oh, she got a lucky bounce there and then an unlucky roll. Wow. That's really unlucky. All right, so 9-8, kind of coming back at us a little bit. We about 9.4 rings. We're gonna go full top. Much left. Don't want to get too close to that bunker. It's gonna be just under 1-1, it looks like. So that's a max overpowered. We only want to put a little bit of curl on it. Ooh, great to the right. Hopefully that doesn't put us in a bad position. Well, it did. I didn't put enough curl. I can't figure out this hole at all. I haven't played it very much, so we're like the same distance away. I was hoping for the easy win. Oh, is she gonna go for it? chick's got bigger balls than me. No. Never mind. This wind, basically a straight tailwind. Yeah, so that barely reaches over, so I'm just gonna play this one. Because I don't necessarily trust my overpowered sandwich. We're gonna bring it back like 6.5. Gray left is okay, I think. How in the world? Yeah, I don't like this whole. I actually got the albatross on this whole. On one of my attempts. I did the full backspin guardian approach. And then another attempt, it rolled back and just stopped right on the lip. It was pretty frustrating. Oh. Oh, I way over adjusted that. I had my elevation still set. Oh, get in. Get in. Oh. That was a very close shot. Alright. Does this have elevation? Probably not really from here. 12-2. Straight headwind. 9 rings. Kidding me? Alright, so we're just gonna aim like around in here. Gotta aim towards the pin there. Go max adjustment, so 9.6. Ooh, I hit perfect. That's good. That's a good sign. Oh, way too hot. Huh. Lack of experience. Oh, birdie. Was it as bad as my birdie on 9 2 nights ago? I have a feeling that might be pretty safe. Probably worse. I mean, did you time out? Well, I do like this hole most of the time. I don't have my Thor's on though. I'm still gonna play with the driver. Pretty good shot from Anne. I don't really know where to aim for this. Mid number, so 6, 7. We're going way uphill. I'm just gonna play it. Excuse me? I don't know what happened. I'm not playing this chick anymore. She's kicking my ass. She's just farming trophies off me. Man, I'm out of my element. Gotta get some wins going. I am way down. Oh. Rough to rough. That's no fun. Rough giraffe indeed. It is a warm, warm day up in Idaho today. I'm switching back to my Thors. My good luck charm. I'll go about... This says to go 9.8. We're going 9.8. See what we get. I'm playing with the wind arrow, so... I don't know. Fudge. I feel like my adjustments prior to the wind arrow were decent. Yeah, I don't like the wind arrow. The wind arrow does not work for me. I don't know what the deal is, but no more will I use the arrow. I know I hit great right, but that was way right. Usually a great on this hole is still safe for the most part. I don't think you want curl. Yeah, really confused about the curl there. But at least he's giving us a chance. Can we make it to the green? Oh. We in fact cannot. What is this max adjustment? It's like 9 rings. No arrow. I'm just gonna put a little bit of right curly curl on it to offset. That great right will help offset the wind too. To the 6 of you watching, I am deeply sorry for my poor performance. He didn't play the wind effect. Where are we at? This is like a 10% downhill. 11, 8. Where are we at on our club? We're gonna go 4.2 rings. It was really difficult to line up, by the way. Hey, there we go. I mean, it was only for Eagle, but it was to save Eagle, and it was a dunk. Thank you, Katie. I don't like that the app spells your name incorrectly. Katy. There you go. Hey, yeah. I won! I won outright! No shootout for this guy. Oh, I have an idea. I know how I can fix that. Ooh! Did you see what I got for my dunk? That's what I'm talking about. Alright, hold on one moment. Hello, Katie. It didn't work. No, it did work. It worked. Nice. Yeah, it's just a longer wait for more shit. That's okay though. It makes me feel better when I don't have full chests, or I don't have like a gold going overnight. It makes me feel better about not wasting chest time. But now if somebody comes into my channel whose name is Katie with an IE, they're gonna be upset, but you know what? F them. Oh. My, ooh, please help support us. I don't want to right now. I might at some point, but not right now. Thank you. Yeah, one of those IEs. Silly IEs. Oh, it's Big Effin' Deal. Played him numerous times. It's funny how you get used to the people that you see when you play at the same time every day. My itchy balls are down to few packs. What's 8 for? 6.6 rings. How much curl do you put on this? With a double great left. Ugh. I am glad I'm not playing my tournament round tonight. If he makes this, I won't feel so bad. Just plain Katie. That's the way it should be. Plain, not playing. My needle is kind of jumpy today. I saw somebody in one of the chats saying that their needle felt jumpy. I'm definitely feeling that same sentiment right now. Alright, what do we have next? Are we in Thorn range? Are we gonna have another dunk opportunity? Dunk opportunity, not done coppertunity. We're right up here at maximum. Close to maximum. I'm gonna go just under maximum. So 4.9, I'm gonna go like 4.7-ish. Yeah! Woo! Again, not for a drop, but to save, you know, this one forced a shootout, so definitely pumped about that. Alright, so here we're gonna play 30% mid wood club. This wind, straight side wind, I didn't see. Slight tailwind. So we're gonna offset it to the right quite a bit due to the heavy elevation. Not gonna put any backspin or anything on it. Opponent coming in nicely. You see that? See that? I dunked to save a shootout. And this is what I get dealt. Like, this is some mother freaking yes, you know? But sometimes this is just gonna happen, so you gotta take it. Hard eye roll. You know, I mean, it's awesome that he made it. Ooh, how is this angle? Oh no! I thought it was in. That would have been so sick if we would have had a double. See, I hit it 0.76 in this shootout, and that should be a guaranteed win every time. But no, my opponent has to be a scumbag and drop the HIO. My trophy count is absolutely pitiful. I just can't deal with it. I usually like to play my tournament rounds maxed out, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be maxed out by opening round tomorrow night. Oh no, Pete went out of bounds on hole 9. Yep, completely useless, awesome shot. Mine was like 0.76 on that hole in particular. When you're playing up top is respectable and something that you would expect to hit or to win 9 times out of 10, that was just that one time. Yeah, I know what you meant, Katie. It's strange that the captioner doesn't take pauses into account for commas or periods, or if I ask a question with upward inflection, it doesn't put a question mark. I wonder if the game doesn't let you match the people that you've played recently within a certain window. Because I would imagine that Anne and Big F and Deal and all those guys are still playing. Ooh, we go first. Ah, terrible wind. That's okay. 10%. 6, 8. About midish. It's gonna be 4 rings. Gonna aim in here. Full right. About 3 top. Come up here to 4 rings. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just close. Not quite max curl, but on the Thor 6, but a healthy amount. Oh, too much top spin. Usually I put 2 with like a side wind. 3 with a headwind shouldn't have. Maybe I just caught a weird bounce. Oh well. Quarterback with a wind 5 ball. Come on. Yawn. Boring. What's their best finish? 56. Get out of here, Dano. Oh no. Hopefully it's a quick power back on. Are you on mobile data right now? Something like 75%. Like 6 rings. Well, that's well short. Yo, what's up, Bob Lucier? Sheepdogs and Arch Dano. Interesting. King Mofo with the minus 27 expert. My play tonight and last night has not been very good at all. Just hoping to get... I'm going to play basically until I get one more win at this point. Hopefully it's soon. Angry face because he hit great. Like... It's your own fault, dude. Pete just had a really good expert round on King Mofo in the 19 New Day. Oh, he went offline. I thought he was going to keep streaming. Heck. Who else is streaming right now? Go watch them. I hate this hole. I don't know how to play it. Yeah, minus 27, Pete. Awesome job. Don't throw up the good game. That's just gonna get in my head now, like... I don't know how to play this hole. It's like not quite max. It's only like 5 and a bit. A little bit of curl on it or something. Probably did the exact same thing my opponent did. Nah, I hit it way better. Welcome back, Troy. Everyone is here just in time for me to end the stream. Climbed back up to 4,900. I saw that, Pete. What happened there? Ooh, Hammerhead card. Slowly but surely. And a Marlin. Gotta love that. Alright, so I'm gonna call that a night because I've been playing horribly and I have a platy. I will be on tomorrow. I'll probably start later because I believe Pete is planning on streaming around tomorrow at around the same time he streamed today, and I don't want to interrupt that too much, so I might start later. We'll have to see. But I plan on playing my opening round tomorrow night. Hopefully it's a banger. Get some practice in, get a little more dialed in for the weekend. But yeah. Cool, Pete. Well, congrats on your 27 under and getting into the weekend. It's always a good feeling when you make it to the weekend, so. I have to take care of a lot of things tonight before I go to bed, so I'm gonna call it there. I will see you all in streams and tomorrow night. Have a blessed day, everyone. Mwah.